about a nice intro. What's up guys, Need for Speed fan here with another PC that I built in the past 3 months or so. 4 months actually. Yep, you can call me officially crazy. Why the hell did I build another one? Well, YouTube does a lot of stuff tech related, so let's just say that the influence of Techicity got the best of me. I'm not saying that my old computer, the Core 2 quad system, wasn't powerful. However, I wanted a bit more oomph from the PC. So I wanted something as powerful as the Ryzen 2200G, 2400G, but I didn't want to spend so much money. Well, I'll talk about that later. It's quite a lot. It's actually comparable with a Ryzen system configured like I did. So I stock up with this X58 system, which has Xeon X5675, clocked stock at 3 GHz. Now it's overclocked to a slightly higher 3.6 GHz. However, if you know anything about X58, you know that you can overclock them like hell. And sure as hell I did. I managed to get stable, very stable, 4.4 GHz at 1.3875 volts. And the other voltage is not so high from stock, excuse me, except for the QPI and the PLL frequency. Kinda took me a while to figure out that I had to increase the CPU VTT voltage in order to get the stable overclock. Many thanks to the guys from EVGA. They had a very nice tutorial on how to overclock X58. Those were for the i7, 920, 940 and so on. Being a Xeon, it has a smaller TDP of 95 watts instead of the 130 of the Bloomfield architecture, if I'm not mistaken. And what can I say? The temperatures are fine with this DeepCool Gammaxx 400, I think, cooler that I have. Overclocked, the max temperature is around 85 degrees on a blistering summer day. I'm not kidding, this was one of the hottest summers I've ever encountered. But the more worrying thing that I had with the system wasn't the CPU. These are actually very cheap. The X5675 costed me around $20, something like that, converted from my local currency. However, I was more worried about the North Bridge temperature. When I got the motherboard, it had some signs that the thermal paste was replaced on the North Bridge and South Bridge. However, when I checked into the BIOS, the temperature of 100-110 degrees looked a bit high, way too high for my comfort zone. So I disassembled the motherboard, disassembled the massive heatsink that the computer has. Unfortunately, I did not take any pictures of this assembly process, but I'll try to find link on YouTube on how to disassemble it and how to replace the thermal paste or the thermal pads that I did actually replace with. So my temperatures now are around stock on the Northbridge are 70 to 80 and overclocked 95 max, which I checked it's a perfectly decent temperature for this X58 chipset. Southbridge does not have any problem with the temperature. Unfortunately, slightly I can say an inconvenience is that this specific motherboard, the E760 of the EVGA X58 freeway SLI class fan, that's a mouthful, doesn't have the NF200 chipset from nVidia, which I kind of heard that it's better than this one without. Compared to my old computer, well, I have a 960 and something else, but I'll tell you that in a jiff. First, let's talk about the RAM. No DDR2 here, absolutely not. Not DDR4 even if I would have liked to have, but X58 being almost 10 years old, still runs like a champ, I must say. Doesn't have any DDR4. That's all the way up to the X99 chipset, if I'm not mistaken. So I got a dual channel kit off of G.skill Ripjaws X 16 gigabytes, which are fine. However, the prices when I got them were unbelievably high, and now they are at least 25% cheaper. Well, whatever. And I got another stick of RAM to benefit from higher frequencies on the Northbridge and the triple channel memory, which the computer benefits very much. So I got 2 x8 sticks and 1 Corsair Dominator DDR3 memory. All are red. You can already see there's a lot of red in this computer. And yes, I might have gone a bit overboard with that, but I like red. So you might be wondering why I don't have the LED readout as in the intro. Well, because my 960 is there. And you might ask, why would you have the 960 in the second PCI Express slot? Actually third, because I have the wireless PCI adapter. Well, check this out. Unfortunately you cannot see it so well, but let's move the camera a bit. And there you go. Yes, I did it again. I upgraded the GPU as well. I got this GTX 1070. Luckily, still an EVGA product, so my computer is... most of it's EVGA, except for the fans and the RAM. Unfortunately, EVGA does not make these kind of parts. And the power supply, but who takes note of that? But this time I must say that the 1070 is a beast. I must say it's a beast. You will see some footage of it on in this video. I will add some clips I did from Crisis 2, Crisis 3. Videos are on my channel as well. I did the challenge. You can check it, the playlist out in the description. And I'm impressed. I must say, I am impressed. I said in the last PC walkthrough that the perfect build for me would have been i7-4790K and GTX 1080. This is the perfect one. I'll put a little light on it to see how the configuration is on the graphics cards. $960 on the bottom, $1070 on the top. So, why do I have two GPUs? Well, this one is for looks for now. The 960 is on sale right now, but I haven't got a serious buyer right now. Other parts I haven't added, except for the Corsair RAM cooler that is there in the right side of the CPU cooler. And that's about it, except for the case, which is a DeepCool Matrexx 55 with 5 DeepCool red fans, excuse me. From the previous build, I kept the power supply, the hard drive, the SSD, and the graphics card, but that's with an asterisk. So you might want to see how this beast runs. Well, I'll put now some results. Cinebench, I'm not going to redo the test again, but I have the result about here. At 4.4 GHz. This is my max score, 1013. I'm pretty sure I can push it to 4.5 GHz, but this is the perfect overclock. I don't want to kill the CPU or the motherboard. The motherboard would be a pain to repair or get another one, since they are pretty damn expensive. And for who wants to see the Cinebench R20 score, this was R15 by the way. Yeah. Okay. Yep, this is the score, 2078, which I think is respectable. I haven't actually checked the results on comparative with the Ryzen 2 series, Zen 2 series, excuse me. But I think these are adequate. If 300 points are the difference between the i7-4770K and my CPU, I'm very pleased with it. I actually did the 3D Mark test just to see what kind of scores do I get. Well, for the graphics score, this is stock. For the 1070, its stock settings, I don't think overclocked it would have made such a difference. There is a slight bottleneck to the CPU, but it's nowhere near the ThinkPad W500 that I have with the RX 550. So the graphics score stock on this 1070, with GPU boost enabled of course, is 8,374 points, and for the CPU is 14,684. Actually, I don't quite know if that's very good or very low, but the average I know it's 7,872, which is respectable as far as I can tell. The other specs are here, nothing too special. I don't know why your CPU voltage is -1, but whatever, bugs, I guess. So let's summarize a bit. I planned the build in January. I got most of the parts by mid-March. The CPU arrived in April. I have configured it, set it up as well as I wanted to. And the 1070 I got 3 weeks ago, so something like that. So what can I do with it? Well, I video edit once in a while. It's a hobby, you can say. You can see it from the intro that I do like some videography. I edited in Sony Vegas a bit. I edited a trilogy, a movie trilogy, and that was an 8-hour movie. It exported it in 8 hours precisely. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. For a very big project that took a lot of time, I'm pleased with it. I remember when I had a dual-core computer laptop, that for 10 minutes it took me like an hour. So it's a very powerful machine for me. The only huge actually problem is power consumption. It's big, it's huge. Luckily that I have the 600 watt power supply. On 3D Mark, on the result I showed you, I have a kilowatt meter hooked up with the monitor and some stuff, insignificant. It drew around 460 to 470 watts. That's pretty painful for my electricity bill. But when you have that much power, you can live with that. Idle power consumption is still high. It's around 170 to 220 watts. Probably with Ryzen. I have a friend which has a Ryzen system hooked up still to a kilowatt meter similar as mine, and the power consumption in load it's no more than 200 watts. What can you do? I like old stuff. Well, that's about it. I'll overlay the gameplays of Crysis 2, Doom, probably, which these old games are maxed out. But other games, very recent games, 2019 games, flawless, absolutely flawless. Except RTX games. The only thing I tried, because I don't have Battlefield 5 or Shadow of the Tomb Raider and so forth, I don't quite like those games, except Battlefield maybe, but I'll try it when I'm in the mood. Well, I tried the Quake 2 RTX, but the performance is holy moly, horrible. I mean, with 800 by 600, 20 FPS at max settings, it's... I'm not sure what to say, funny or ridiculous. However, that I remember, the 1070 for better power consumption, it's undervolted to, let me check, 1.1 volt at 1911 megahertz. So that's the stock clock of the graphics card. However, due to GPU boost, I see that it does underclock a bit. It's not the most stable underclock that I have. It goes to something like 18,098 megahertz. So let's take a quick look again at the computer, and let's wrap this up. Here we go. EVGA logo that always shines up, dims like that and goes back again. Some indicator LEDs, the logo for the 1070, the RGB power supply, which is set to glow red or pulse red, depends what I want. The indicator LED is somewhere there in the bright right side. This motherboard also has switches for power off, reset, and clear CMOS on the motherboard, and also the clear CMOS on the back of the motherboard. Let's turn on the light a bit. All the cables are tidied up. This is completely cable managed. This is the front, as you saw in the intro. And let's check also the back side where the cables are arranged. And here are the cables. Nice and tidy. A fan controller on the back, so the cable management in the front is nice and clean. SSD is on the back. Cable managed all the way to the bottom. Pretty tidy. I couldn't get it anyway better than that. But I'm pleased with it.
Maybe the subway wasn't the best idea. I'm reading dozens of heat signals.
Shit! Get off me! Get the fuck off
step
me!
Down there. It's a nest! Get out of there, Prophet!
Maximum multiplier. Maximum multiplier. Maximum multiplier.
Okay, this is how it's going to work. I'll call out the locations as I see them. Like this one, sector 1, Delta 3. These are potential cache locations. Our primary target is now at Delta 3. As soon as you get the hardware, we'll lock the bastard out cold. Sector 1, Delta 3. Looks good. There, Sector 1, Delta 0. Sector 1, Delta 2. Got something. Prioritise Sector 1, Delta 6. Strong contender.
Magazine depleted. Weapon system online.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Fuck me. How are you firing that? Jesus! Don't like it, you did it. But that is fucking beautiful! Okay, you got Cell's attention. Suggest we move out immediately.
Warning. High altitude defense tower 3 Delta 3 has been disabled. Response units relocate to that sector immediately.
Give me an update on your position. Let's link up.
Roger that.
Where's it coming from?
What's that over there?
Guess it was nothing.
Heads up, Prophet. Cell reinforcements en route.
Pull back and rock!
Insurgent activity reported in perimeters.
Well, that's about it. I'll catch you up in the next video. Peace.